Hello, I'm Rick. Isolinear chips, what do? In Star Trek we routinely see these clear, plastic-looking slips that are plugged into computers, pads and other devices. Depending on the species using them, they can be the Federation-style chips or sometimes rods. Clearly, they are a form of memory storage device, like some space-age version of a USB stick. But what exactly makes them different from the devices we have today, aside from presumably being more efficient? Well, quite a bit actually, but also maybe not as much as you might think thanks to current developing storage mediums. The Isolinear circuitry as a whole was phased into operation as Federation standard around the early 24th century, around 2329. But we see them in operation on the newer vessels of 2293. Up until this point, Starfleet and the UFP computers had been operating off the duotronic systems, but with the advancements into Isolinear storage, a new system was implemented. Even this, however, is being phased out, as by 2371 Starfleet was experimenting with bioneural circuitry to replace some key components of a vessel's nervous system. However, bioneural systems are far less mobile than Isolinear, so as far as we know, the two are still being used in tandem with one another. A Starfleet Federation issue Isolinear chip can hold 2.15 kiloquads of information, which doesn't help much because a quad is a made-up Trek shorthand for a unified measurement of data, and we don't have a byte to quads conversion. What we do know is the Federation computers use both binary and trinary code, and that an extremely complex holo program such as Voyager's EMH consisted of well over 12 megaquads. But a simple on-the-rails holo program that didn't require artificial sentience could fit onto a single chip, which also gives you an idea of just how advanced the Doctor was. At least 5,582 chips worth of data, which also means that this hollow cube matrix that Moriarty was stored in is probably crazy complex and proof that you can make more complicated storage without the size scaling directly. Thankfully. The Isolinear chip is also referred to as an optical chip, which gives us a big clue as to what exactly it's supposed to be because thanks to modern advancements, we have them. Basically, in Star Trek, the Isolinear rod or chip is a crystalline slab that has information burned into it across multiple layers. It utilises the same sort of algorithms that holographic technology uses to create a complex 3D layer of etched data across this crystal lattice. Because the data is stored not only in the visible surface layer but beneath, it allows for things like depth, frequency, polarization and other factors to act as additional layers of information storage. Alongside this, each chip has an onboard nanoprocessor that aided with smart storage and conversions, presumably to make them compatible with a variety of different technologies, as long as it was Isolinear based in nature. The coloured shells we see in the show are there to serve as casings for protection, and are clear as to allow the crystalline circuitry inside to still be accessible by the computer when it's plugged in, as the crystal itself is naturally very fragile. The racks of Isolinear rods that we see in engineering and behind panels across a ship are effectively how you quick program a system. Each Isolinear chip has a code or computer function on it, so by swapping the order or replacing chips, you can quickly reprogram a system. Well, more quickly than writing lines of code from scratch, so long as you know how to handle these chips. Real-life experiments into such optical data storage are promising and seeing active development with so-called 5D data storage. This uses fused quartz or a similar crystal material and a laser burns into it recording information. Solid progress is being made, judging by the numbers on the wiki page that I don't understand, and the fact that Microsoft has its Project Silica in the works to test a hefty amount of storage in this form. Suffice to say, it could store up to 360 terabytes and last billions of years before degrading. The 5D part does not refer to being beyond 3D, however, meaning it is basically working like the Isolinear rods, recording information in 3D layers. As far as I can tell, the idea of storing information in crystal has been floating around for years, but it was the works of the Kyoto University and University of Southampton that made substantial headway in making it a reality. So there we go, that is what an isolinear chip is, a slab of artificial crystal with information recorded throughout its structure, giving it 3 dimensions to play with, vastly improving its recording capacity, because you can not only view it from one angle to get one set of data, but another to uncover a whole new layer of information. This was just a quick video, but I thought I'd make it because it surprised me just how much lore there was in the simple space USB stick. Then again, didn't we see these in TNG before we even had USB sticks? Oh damn. Neat. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you later for another lore, sci-fi or gaming video. Goodbye.